Hey guys, Bill's changed suppliers obviously. He's now a Power Ranger rather than a Teletubby. That's a good thing, I think. Stuart, g'day. Paul, 624 Dudley. Mark Osborne, g'day. Bill, hello. Thanks for the shout out last week, Paul. David Ian Sykes, g'day. Peter Novel, hello. Team Biscuits, g'day. Frank Ward, good morning and good evening or wherever you are. Doing a bit of rolling seems to be all we do lately. Trying to get some of this paint back on. I've got some more paint. 3 a.m, that's a bit rough, sorry. Appreciate your company, though. Watching paint dry, yeah. Hey, Fridge. Nearly finished. I just wanted to get this done before anything else happens. This is about all this is going to get before it goes together, and then we might give it another coat, top and bottom. Bit of shine on it. Meant to get some foam brushes to do this, and I never got there, so this will have to do for a bit. This has got a good coat of 2-pack primer underneath it, so if we miss a bit in between the cracks, it's not going to worry and it might fit together a bit better. That's the theory behind it. Oh well, that's got a little bit of paint on it, and we might. Hey Paul, Mike from Cornwall, good day. No, red paint dries a lot slower actually, that's where we are. Pyjamas, yeah, red for bed, got my work clothes off, and sort of, it's been a pretty full on week actually. Can you hear about my week? There we go, that's that job done. Which is still a bit thin, but red paint doesn't cover particularly well. There's a lot of it though. That's on, that's done. We've got 4 bands here with top coat on them. We could do with another coat, go run out. I might get another coat tomorrow. And red fades fast too, that's very true, but we'll see how we go with that. Won't fade fast under here because it's underneath. Yeah, they're tongue and groove, Paul, so if you can see that. Hey, Rasnox. So slowly, they all need a bit more of a touch up before it goes together probably, but I would like to bolt this up on Tuesday. We'll see how we go with that. I've got other things to do, that's the other issue. These ones are the sideboards. I've only painted one side. We'll have a look at them. They're all sanded back on the other side, nice, ready to go. Not sure, this has got the sign, this is the sign writing side. Whether we put whatever we're going to put on there. It's not a very deep board, but we'll put something on them. I don't know whether to paint these black or whether to paint them a different colour, whether to paint them brown or get some brown, the same as the pinstriping, and paint them that colour. I'm not sure yet. Black just feels a bit heavy. Depends, I guess, on what sort of writing you're going to put on them. But I think they were originally black, so I'm not real sure. Anyway, the rest of the roll is black. Anyway, so that's where we're at with this. This is sort of ready to put the coach bolts back in, put a coat of paint on. So might bolt it up without these, and these can come off later, and we can sign write them, etc., and put them on afterwards. It's not a big deal with a couple of ladders. It might keep the weight down on these a bit. So we'll bolt them up as sort of as a framework, and then put all the rest on and start in the middle outwards. If we get everything bolted up and reasonably square, then we can pull them off later and give them a coat of paint. And anyway, that's the theory. Black won't show dirt and smoke though. White does. White's a bit awful. So that's where we're at. That's kind of what we've done. We did move the roller because peer pressure and idiots. Karen's next door, stuff like that. this guy here, but no roller in the yard. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Roller's gone. 3 spare car park spots again, so, or 2 spare car park spots. Hey, Kim Bazalik. Anyway, roller's gone. To Pimpernel to the Vintage Machinery Club. That was a job for yesterday. And I spent yesterday sitting out there and sitting in the gravel and the sort of with enough space around it to clean up. I actually took the ash pan off, and this place is getting a little bit lived in. We need to have a clean up here this week. You might see some big changes. So I pulled the ash pan off it and cleaned it up and put it back on and swept the tubes out and did a bit of brass polishing, stuff like that for a few hours yesterday morning till about 11, 12 o'clock. Put it all back together and covered it over. There's an event there next weekend, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to get there to steam up or whether I can persuade some friends to do it for me. But it would be nice to run the roller. Could do with a blowdown, etc. Anyway, that's irrelevant because I've got other stuff to do. So that was 6 o'clock yesterday morning. 6 o'clock this morning I was actually having a driving lesson because I've got to go through all that again to get my licence back apparently. So that's a long story, but we're getting there. Then I went to work. But yeah, it's like 10 minutes away here. It's really close, so it's good. I was up there. How often do they have events? Second Sunday in every month, I think. Yeah, so that's stuff that it's not going to be there the next time. It's there for a month, 3 weeks now or something. It's going down to Dan's shed. Where it's out of the way and where I don't have to worry about it too much. There's too much brass work on it to be leaving it outside out here in the Gold Coast. Not happy to do that really. So been to work today and messed around with Go and Citizen solar powered watches all day. So I've had one of those days. Is when you sit down to a bench full of solar powered watches, everything that's going to go wrong possibly will. And you eventually get to the end of it. Now, I've made some inroads into it, but it's a pretty hard road, generally. So that's what I did today. Then I come home and I had a phone call from a mate and talked to him for a bit, and the usual stuff. I'm really not feeling like it's very long out of bed, but anyway. That's where we're at. What's everyone else up to? There's a good video from Russ Knox to watch it tonight. Tea and biscuits, you're right. Yeah, I've got to put up with the landlord. I don't think there's any going back on that. She needs a space for something else, and that was just that. I really... Workshop that I can't do any work in is no good to me. There's jobs I need to do. And if I had the run of this space, I would have had the roller in here and jacked up and one wheel off it by now, because there are world jobs that need to be done. But it's not going to happen like that. Stuart's struggling to stay awake. Stuart's given up smoking this week. I don't know how he's lasting, but good on him. Big cheer there on Stuart. Good stuff. So I've been and looked at a couple of places and applied for one, and it's probably quite nice, but rent's not cheap. Someone to go in with me would make it pretty comfortable. That's a bit of an issue with being on your own. It's all very well, and I get people sort of saying to me every day, you should buy something, you should buy something, you should buy something. And yes, probably. But I'm on my own. So repayments I can make that equal rent they take a long time to add up. That's an emergency stop button for the jigsaw band, the scroll saw. And this is the electric motor for it, which I've just basically reconditioned, repainted, got tidied up. There we go. It's not a bad fit on there. So there we go. I think saws need e-stop. I'm sort of feeling like that. Tea and biscuits, I don't know if that works, does it? I don't know. I'm really sort of not a Tinder person. I'm not a dating person, and I'm not a relationship person, and I'm not a sharing person. And yeah, that's the right way around. I did check before I put it on there. So that's a good electric motor. It's a start and switch one. It's not too bad, really. There we go. Nice, quiet little electric motor. A friend without benefits. Yeah, I don't really want a friend with benefits. I've been down that road too many times, and that's too much trouble. But there you go. I need someone. But then there's personal maintenance and things, and anyone who knows me knows I'm not particularly good at any of that, so don't put dog on for people. It's kind of counterproductive. But anyway, you need a sugar daddy. Anyone who knows. You really want a hobby baby. Yeah, that's why I want someone who can drop $200 a week rent into something and use a workbench space and talk about stuff and bring a couple of machines with them we can share and basically go home and annoy the crap out of them. Can anyone hear me? I guess you can all hear me. Anyway, there's a nice little GMF motor. This came on my lathe actually originally. That's where I got this. And it was covered in bright green paint, and it was attached to a board with a spring on it, and basically it was a board with a coil spring and a bolt for a tensioner, and sort of a fairly miserable wooden pulley. So I cleaned the paint off it with paint stripper about 15 years ago and put it in the bottom of the cupboard. And when I got the other one and it's all unwired, I think that's the correct term, someone's pulled all the wires apart when they've gone to fit it. It's the same motor basically, but and not much good to me. So we've just swapped them over, and I've given this a coat of blue paint, and it looks pretty good. I'd like to do the rest of the saw that colour, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So that could, in about an hour, have this saw running, and it really wants to be swapped over. It's a bit of a cow because you've got to lift the saw into the bench or across to half onto the bench so you can get the bolts out from underneath. Yeah, there's a flat belt pulley on it made from wood, and I think some of it was PVC pipe on the outside with PTFE tape to hold it in place. It was a very ordinary pulley actually. I think I tossed it out, but that's what was running the lathe originally when I picked it up. Anyway, it's not a bad motor, and it'll do the job nicely on that. These bolts, and I sort of had thought I was going to have a sandblaster by now, but moving house and things, it's not going to happen. There's this box of bolts, right? These are the bolts out of the canopy. So there's 6 of these, or 12 of these, I think. Just coach bolts. And do with a bit of a clean up. I'm going to have to get onto them with a wire wheel. That's easy enough. But there's about 100 of these, which aren't original, but they'll do the job. And they need cleaning up. They're all full of paint and crap. And there's about 100 spare spring washers, about 100 nuts. I guess they're, what are they? Don't know what size they are. 5/16 they are. So you go silly and buy 5/16 coach bolts and use them. These are probably as good as anything though, because you can't see the tops of them. So really they need to run on the wire brush or wire wheel. That's what they need. Got to spend a couple of hours doing that before we put it together. So anyone who wants to volunteer, I've got a little tumbler. I could just drop them all in there, but it's noisy. It'll keep Dan awake for 3 days, tumbling them. I haven't had the tumbler out here because I don't imagine that he'll like the sound after about a week. I have a feeling he'll get upset. So, there we go. Got to do that at some point. I'll probably just do a few at a time as I bolt them up. Do 3 and put a board in, and do another 3 and put another board in, etc, etc, etc. Discover I've got one the wrong way around and nothing lines up and nothing fits. I've got one numbered wrong. Hey John. So that's going to be a fun job, but sort of sooner it's bolted up and there's a coat of paint on the top and the bottom, make a decent top coat, we can start thinking about putting them back on, and that was going to be done before the 20th when we went, but everything's changed now. So there we go. John's building a camera rail, apparently. That's probably letting the cat out of the bag, but either means he's making a video or he's going to make some videos. Either way, it's one of those can't lose sort of projects. So, be excited to see about that. Saw some content from a good video from us, Knox. We're going to say excellent video about making a gantry and making some gib screws for the little mill. That's coming together really nice. Knackler's Workshop had some content with the jig borer up and running by the look of it. That's awesome. Pretty excited about that. Career development plans, where are you going with that? Hanging in until you get sick of me, yeah. Do as little as I can for the next 10 years, or 5 years, or 20 years, or however long it is. So I've decided to bite the bullet and do some decent driver training. I've only got to do my heavy rigid license because I had some fines in another state, and when they finally caught up with me, because I probably should have paid them, there was a couple of court appearance fine, the fees on top of them and everything. It was a significant amount of money, and when I finally paid them, they caught up to me and said, "Hey, look, you can't hold a license in the state of Tasmania anymore." So, as it is, where I am at the moment is that I can hold a license in the state of Tasmania and I hold a license in the state of Queensland too. However, because it's been 7 years since those offences, which would probably park on a loading zone or something like that, or a 10-minute park, a half-hour park on a 10-minute park and that sort of thing, I've got to resit my licence. Now, I've only got to resit the highest level I attained, which is heavy rigid, or whatever you call that. I don't know if that's how they say it, but I've got to resit my heavy rigid, so I've got to do a little course, and I haven't driven a truck course for 15 years at least. It's a long time. It really is. And I've never driven a truck like the one I'm doing my tests in. The driver training truck is like, it's probably got a nicer gearbox than any car I've ever driven, to be honest. But yeah, I've never driven a truck like that. So it's kind of nice to realise that you can stop in second gear with the brake and not actually stall the thing and things like that, that I'm really got to all relearn, because it's not really how I learned to drive. Then I've done a couple of lessons in a Suzuki Swift, which is because I realised that my reverse parking and all that crap is probably could do with a refresher, and I might as well get some decent habits. And while I'm waiting to do my test, I might as well get a few hours under my belt. So I found a driving instructor who's a mate who look after me a bit and take me out a couple of hours a week. And I'm learning a lot of stuff that I probably learnt once, or I probably never learnt once, because cars have changed. And I know that I drive differently to what a modern car drives. So I'm getting there. Fine, I can still reverse park and I can still take off on hills, and I'm not having crazy issues with blind spots or anything like that. So everything's sort of fallen into together. But if you're licensed, keep driving as long as you can. It's been a bit of an experience. Paul, I don't think anyone wants to see. I mean, full respect to your wife, but yeah, well, the thing is about the Gold Coast that even if I get a licence, I'm probably not going to drive to work because driving's abysmal, really. It's slow and it's basically a 30-minute traffic jam, 40-minute traffic jam to get to work, whereas I can get to work from here on the scooter in about 20. So the scooter's here to stay, and that's an awesome thing. And even if you've got to put a new battery in it every 2 years, it's still a much cheaper way of getting to work than actually driving on the Gold Coast. You find the hardest part to test yourself constantly. Yeah, I'm like that too. I haven't had a whole lot of issues with car parking, to be honest. The Suzuki Swift's a very, very easy thing to reverse park, and I haven't tried reverse parking the truck. So all that sort of stuff. It's all coming together, and there's a test coming up very shortly. And from there on, we can start concentrate on moving if we've got somewhere to move to from before then. Anyway, that's everything's got to be done in the right order. It's not going to happen. That's the issue, and you've only got one chance at that, and I'm a bit scared about it. It's all going to be okay, I think, but it's a matter of sort of making it all work. I have to get a mate to come with me and buy a car at some point, I think. So if anyone's in the area and wants to spend a Sunday afternoon driving around looking at cars, I'd be very appreciative. But if we go and buy something at a car yard, then I guess they'll probably deliver it for me. They got any go in them? Don't know. Still looking. So that's all the rundown on that. It's the long and involved story. Not a big deal. And there's no time limits or anything. I don't have to do any like hours or anything. I just got to go sit through and do all the tests. And when I start doing actual driving with a intent to actually sit the test, I feel I'm pretty rusty. And doing some training now will probably give me some good habits rather than the bad habits I used to have, and has been enough of a time period that I could actually kick some of them and take on some new, better habits, because cars run differently, and trucks too. Being able to idle up to the lights in second gear and put your foot on the brake and just about stop before you push the clutch in, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, Dan. Still got the cladding here. It could do with a steam clean. So if anyone, I might still get to that one weekend and get a steam cleaner and get out there in the car park and clean it all up. Get some of the oil and crap off it. Be really nice to get a coat of undercoat on it before the roller comes down to Dan's, but we'll see how we go. As long as you don't crash, yeah. The Norma, hello. Yeah, well, I could have had a learner's permit. I've got one at the moment, but it's, yeah, it's a bit of a nuisance, really. Anyway, that's where we're at with that. What else? Raymond Martinet was here yesterday. Called in to pick up a. Take care, Paul. He picked up a cabinet I'd sitting here that I said, "Do you want a free cabinet?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll grab a free cabinet." So he came down and picked it up. That's good. That's gone. That's excellent. He also donated a 5 litre of concentrated truck wash and 5 litre of degreaser to the cause, which is really awesome. If you're watching this, Raymond, it's a really awesome thing to do. I really appreciate it. It'd be very, very useful. And that's out with the roller at the moment at Pimpamar. So if we find someone to steam it on Sunday, which is a big if, time and people-wise, there is a roller out there and someone must have a steam ticket on the place, and I'd be very happy for them. I reckon. I know the guy, I think, and I'd be very happy for him to run the roller. If we do get it steam on it on Sunday, we can blow it down and we can probably hit it with a hose and some degreaser when it's still warm. And sorry, Raymond Martin, that's who I was trying to think how he's spelled his name, sorry. But it wouldn't hurt to have a scrub up and a degreaser up around the top of the boiler and everywhere. Yeah, got a steam cleaner. It hasn't got a hose on it though, so we're kind of screwed there. Need to find a hose for it. What else? Oh, Sunday we ran the roller for 20 minutes or so on air out here in the car park, which was kind of nice to play for 20 minutes. I uncovered it and hooked the air compressor up to it, moved it 6 inches or something down the further forward on the hard sand here. So the thing runs nicely on compressed air, but not for very long. There's a bigger air compressor. If I do go out to the machinery club on Sunday and have an open day, I might try and get some video. We'll see how we go. It might not get edited. Sunday night, if I get a chance, I'm going to start my rough cut 2022 video. You've got a month left, guys. I know some of you have taken on more than you can chew. There you go. You get that. But I've got a couple of little videos I can do, and one of them in particular I might get stuck in and do it if I get a chance Sunday afternoon. It's only a day project or a bit less. Got plans to do it, so we'll get in and sort that out. It won't take much, I don't think. A little bit of sheet metal work and a little bit of machining and a few holes drilled. There's not much to it. Doesn't have to be a big project, just make a video. The trouble is with all this painting is that everything's so jolly dirty here at the moment. I need to clean everything up. Still got a bit of metalwork there to scrub up too and put a coat of paint on. There's not a whole lot of work in it, I don't think. 2 diagonal bars off the cylinder block onto the top of the canopy, the diagonal bracings, they're done. The rest is just a matter of pulling it apart and giving it a degrease and a scrub and a sand up and a coat of undercoat and a coat of paint, which shouldn't take too long. But I really don't know whether we're going to get all this together and before we move or what. I don't know. Bill, you're right on. That's spot on. Yep. Post one on the day. Use the hashtag. That's all you need. Oh, my Boomer's front door, he wouldn't have liked that much, but yeah, I felt like I probably should have. I should have driven it out and round beside his front door and hoped he turned up on Monday afternoon. Would have made it easier to load it on the truck. So, that's where we're at. What's everyone else up to? Keith Appleton's got a video up, changing oil in his Smart and Brown lathe. That sounds like an exciting sort of a thing. Probably painting something as well. Keith's got a good inspirational channel, actually. I really enjoy his videos still, even after all these years. Always something to learn. So that's where I'm at. I've got to come down here at some point and put some tools in the boxes, but that's a bit of a job. Rust Knox, you'll get it together pretty quick, but sorry. Brief recap of the current situation. There is no current situation. That's where we're at. Current situation is dire. Between 8 and 12 on the fire danger sign. No. Brief recap is that we've got to move at some point in the very near future. Roller's gone, and the moving is coincidental and probably nothing really to do with the roller. I don't think, after talking to her, and that's cool. But it's time to move anyway because there's 1,000 things that drive me crazy here at the moment. Sharing with other vehicles and things is not good. Everything gets dust and dirt and stuff over it, and you can't really sweep up or vacuum up when it's everyone else's stuff. And getting a bit sick of the cigarette smoke, to be honest. And yeah, it's a bit of a arse having to work around everyone else's preconceived little constricted ideas, which I don't know how everyone else here in the centre does it. We've got a refrigeration mechanic, we've got a builder, we've got a carpet layer, we've got a couple of warehouses, we've got a car detailer, we've got an auto wrapper, we've got a landscape gardener, and we've got a machine shop. And none of the others seem to have the same issues with things parked around or whatever, so I don't know. Dan should make a video introducing things and then a continuation video on something. That goes for all of us. As a heads up to everyone to do a part 2 on a video that you've never finished. Frank's working on setting up his shop. If anyone's interested, I know there's a couple of Chauvelin 70s for sale at different places around Queensland. If anyone wants a Chauvelin 70 for either in going condition for a scary price or less than going condition for a less scary price, hit me up because I might be able to put you in the right direction. If I had space and time and energy and everything else, I might be interested in one of them, but no, I'm not. The 70 is only a little fellow, 70 millimetre centre height. What else? Dan, no, I didn't. I guess he worked it out himself. Apparently, Lance had some flat belts at Queensland Tractor Spares, so don't know what was there. Someone else, I think it was Raymond, let me know that there was someone to swap meet and a bit further north too, and they were close by here. If I had a vehicle, I probably would have got them, bought them, and then had something to do, had to take them or do something with them. So I haven't. I've been very reserved about buying things at the moment. A lot of very reserved window shopping there. Which is probably a good thing. Mark's got tons of footage but burned out from editing. I'm feeling a bit like that too. I might do, we'll see how we go for the weekend. I might get a couple of videos shot. I'll take a camera with me and we'll have a look around on Sunday if we get there. Take care, Paul. Good to see you. I reckon we can nearly call this a night too. We're 50 minutes in, which is nothing we've really got very animated about. But I'm going to put some more red on these boards and then go to bed, I think. That's where we're at with that. So, thanks, guys. But thanks for tuning in. Be kind to each other, especially to me. And we'll let you know as the situation unfolds. But how dry is the paint? It's not dry really, but it'll be a bit tacky, so we can put a thicker pave coat on over the top of it and it might go off a bit quicker. Red really needs a bit extra on it after an hour or something, so that it thickens up and goes off. Anyway, we'll see how we go with that. I'm out. More soon, guys and girls, and thanks.